First impressions are everything, and the Jetour T2 doesn't just walk into a room, it demands it. Looking at this front profile, you immediately notice the bold and boxy design language that has taken the SUV world by storm. The centerpiece is that massive, blacked-out grille featuring the Jetour lettering. It's not just a brand name, it's a statement of intent. Notice how the letters are illuminated, giving it a futuristic, cyberpunk aesthetic when the sun goes down. Flanking the grille are these distinct, square LED headlights. They aren't just retro, they feature a pixel motif that feels very 2026. This isn't just a car that wants to go off-road, it's a car that wants to look good doing it. Moving lower, the bumper is pure utility. It's high clearance, designed to tackle approach angles that would make a standard crossover cringe. You'll see those vibrant yellow accents on the tow hooks, a signature touch for the T2. It says, "I'm ready for a recovery mission, even if you're just headed to the grocery store." The hood is flat and muscular, giving the driver a clear view of the corners of the vehicle, which is essential when you're navigating tight trails or narrow city streets. There's a sense of symmetry here that feels grounded and tough. It's wide, it's planted, and it looks like it was carved out of a single block of granite. But it's the fine details that keep you looking. The way the fog lights are recessed to protect them from debris, and the subtle T2 feet badging on the license plate area. This front end represents a bridge between two worlds, the rugged, mechanical soul of traditional 4x4S and the sleek, tech-heavy reality of modern EVs and hybrids. Whether it's reflecting city lights or covered in a layer of desert dust, this face is unmistakable. It's a design that prioritizes presence without being overly aggressive. It's confident, and in a crowded market of rounded, teardrop-shaped SUVs, the T2's sharp edges are a breath of fresh, mountain air. Image 2. The rear, functional symmetry. Spin the T2 around, and the boxy theme continues with even more purpose. The rear view of a vehicle often feels like an afterthought, but here, it's a highlight. The first thing your eye hits is that square spare tire carrier. It's a classic off-roader trope, but Jetour has modernized it with a hard shell cover that matches the body's geometric lines. It doesn't just hold a tire, it completes the silhouette. To the left and right, you have these striking vertical LED taillights. They consist of distinct light bars that mirror the pixelated theme from the front. They are high-mounted, ensuring they stay visible even if the lower half of the car is obscured by tall grass or trail dust. The tailgate itself is side-hinged, a hallmark of serious adventure vehicles, making it easier to access the cargo area even if you have a roof ladder or bikes mounted. You'll notice the Jetour and T2 feet badging are clean and minimalist. Look at the bumper, it's beefy and finished in a scratch-resistant matte black plastic. Those red reflectors at the bottom aren't just for safety, they are integrated into the textured trim that wraps around the entire base of the vehicle. This cladding serves as a protective suit, taking the hits from rocks and shopping carts so the paint doesn't have to. Even the roofline is interesting from this angle. You can see the high-mounted third brake light and the subtle shark fin antenna. The width of the rear track is evident here, showing off a stance that promises stability. It's a very honest design. There are no fake exhaust tips or unnecessary chrome flourishes. Everything back here serves a function: visibility, protection, or storage. It's the kind of rear end that looks best with a little mud on it, framed by a campfire. It tells the story of where you've been and where you're capable of going next. Side profile, the silhouette of adventure. The side profile is where you truly appreciate the T2's proportions. It's a masterclass in the two-box SUV design. The wheelbase is pushed out to the corners, minimizing overhangs and maximizing interior space. From this angle, you can see the straight, horizontal beltline that runs from the headlights all the way to the rear, giving the car a sense of length and stability. The pillars are blacked out, creating a floating roof effect that makes the cabin look like a protective canopy. This isn't just about looks, it creates a massive greenhouse with large windows, ensuring the driver and passengers have incredible outward visibility. Let's talk about the hardware visible here. Those roof rails aren't just for show, they feature the same yellow accents we saw on the front, and they're rated for serious weight, perfect for a rooftop tent or a pair of kayaks. Down below, the wheels are a standout feature. They have a complex, industrial spoke pattern with a yellow center cap that ties the whole color scheme together. They're wrapped in tires with a decent sidewall, which is exactly what you want for ride comfort and off-road grip. You'll also notice the integrated side steps, which are a necessity given the T2's generous ground clearance. The fender flares are pronounced and squared off, housing the wheels with a rugged confidence. There's a small vent detail just behind the front wheel arch, adding a touch of tech to the mechanical aesthetic. Even the door handles feel substantial. The T2's profile is iconic because it doesn't try to hide its size, it celebrates it. It looks like a tool, but one that's been refined by a luxury watchmaker. It's a silhouette that says you value utility, but you haven't sacrificed style to get it. It's balanced, it's purposeful, and it looks fast even when it's standing perfectly still. The interior, where rugged meets refine. Step inside, and the T2 undergoes a transformation. The exterior was all about the elements, but the interior is a sanctuary of high-tech comfort. The dashboard is a study in horizontal lines, making the cabin feel incredibly wide and airy. The first thing that grabs you is the massive floating infotainment screen. It's the brain of the vehicle. But look past the tech for a moment. Notice the grab handles on the A-pillars in the center console. Those are clear signals that this car expects to be tilted on a trail. They are chunky, bolted on, and finished in premium materials, perfectly encapsulating the rugged luxe vibe. The materials are a mix of soft touch surfaces and industrial textures. You've got red contrast stitching running across the dash and the seats, which adds a sporty, high-energy feel to the dark upholstery. The air vents are vertical and look like they belong in a fighter jet, adding to that sense of machinery inside the cabin. Below the main screen, the center console rises up to meet the dash, housing a gear selector that feels more like a throttle quadrant. It's a tactile environment, everything you touch feels solid and well-engineered. There's no cheap plastic here, even the harder surfaces har rugged texture. The ergonomics are surprisingly thoughtful. Everything is within reach, and the flat floor provides plenty of legroom. The ambient lighting, not fully visible here, but hinted at in the glows, allows you to customize the mood. This interior is designed for the long haul. Whether you're stuck in a 2-hour commute or embarking on a cross-country expedition, the T2's cabin is built to reduce fatigue. It's quiet, it's spacious, and it's packed with enough Easter eggs in the design to keep you discovering new details for weeks. It's the perfect cockpit for the modern explorer. The infotainment. Let's dive into the digital heart of the T2. This infotainment screen is more than just a place to play music, it's a full-on command center. The UI user interface is incredibly crisp, with a layout that prioritizes ease of use. On the left, you have quick access icons for navigation, phone, and media. But the star of the show is the center graphic, a 3D rendering of your T2. This isn't just a static image, it reflects the car's actual status. Notice the off-road dial data. It shows your altitude at 2,000 meters, your compass heading, and even your front wheel angle at 15 degrees. This is vital info when you're crawling over rocks and need to know exactly where your tires are pointed. Along the bottom, you have dedicated, always-on, controls for the climate system. No digging through menus just to change the temperature, it's right there. You can see the dual zone settings at 25.5 degrees. Above that, there are specific off-road modes. Waiting radar for crossing rivers, off-road radiation, checking the environment, ESP toggle, and hill descent control. The integration of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is seamless, as seen by the icons, meaning your digital life follows you into the wilderness. The screen's matte finish is a smart choice, too. It kills glare from that massive windshield we saw earlier. The top bar gives you, at a glance, info, time, connectivity, and even a friendly greeting. Hi Tilda, today is another day full of vitality. It's a small touch, but it makes the tech feel approachable. The processing power behind this screen is evident in how smoothly the 3D models render. This is the kind of tech that used to be reserved for luxury German brands, but Jetour has brought it into a package that's built for adventure. It turns the chore of driving into a data-rich, interactive experience. It's your co-pilot, your DJ, and your spotter, all rolled into one high-definition pane of glass. Steering and cluster, the driver's domain. Finally, we look at the driver's interface. The steering wheel is a work of art in itself. It's not perfectly round, it's flattened at both the top and the bottom, which is a clever design choice. It gives you more thigh room and a better view of the instrument cluster, while also feeling great in the hands. The ST, or T2 logo sits proudly in the center, and the red cross-stitching on the inner rim provides a tactile, high-grip surface. The buttons are haptic and clicky, allowing you to control cruise control, volume, and voice commands without ever taking your eyes off the road. Behind the wheel sits the digital instrument cluster. It's recessed to stay in the shade, keeping it readable in high noon sun. It's currently showing a speed of 64 km per hour, but look at the depth of information. You've got your drive mode, fuel range, and safety alerts all laid out in a way that doesn't feel cluttered. To the left and right of the wheel, you can see the premium door cards with integrated speakers and more of that industrial chic hardware. The pedals below are finished with metal plates, a sporty touch that reminds you this vehicle has plenty of go to match its show. The view from this seat is empowering. You sit high, looking out over that flat hood, with all the controls perfectly weighted. Even the column stalks feel substantial. This is where the connection between man and machine happens. Jetour has managed to make a steering setup that feels light enough for city parking but heavy enough to give you confidence when the road disappears and the trail begins. It's a cockpit designed for someone who loves the act of driving. When you grip this wheel, you aren't just commuting, you're captaining a vessel built for discovery. It's the ultimate vantage point for whatever lies ahead.